We all sometimes get draggy, we get unmotivated, sometimes we won't touch something that we love doing for a week or a month at a time. That could be with marriage too. Sometimes some women won't touch their husband for years at a time. But the difference between someone being mediocre and someone being great is always keeping on. Even if you feel like things are kind of stagnant and things aren't going on, try new avenues, do all kinds of different things that you're not used to doing. Like for me, I started out rapping or wanting to be a rapper, and that got kind of boring to me. You could only do so much rapping to where you feel like you're doing the same thing over and over. So what I wanted to do was maybe mix rap with acoustic guitars, then eventually bring in a guitar, electric guitar, and just try all different kinds of things. It's amazing how I started. I was drumming in a blues/classic rock band when I was like 20, 21. And you listen to the stuff I do now, it's like this trance kind of chill out kind of music, then it's real big techno and stuff, and it's like, that's just because I want to just keep things fresh, because I get bored a lot, and I got a lot of I like a lot of different music genres too, so it's like I want to taste everything and do everything regardless. This is just like maybe a little pep talk for you, just to keep you going, make you feel good. And so we're going to take a look at a few things. What is it that got you into making music? What was your purpose in the first place? Just think about the times when you're just a teenager, alone in your room, playing a guitar, and just like that excitement of just finally knowing that you figured it out. Just realize that your younger self is counting on you to keep pushing, because when you're younger and you're like, wow, this is great, I'm doing all this stuff, I'm recording all these songs, and you don't want that younger version of yourself thinking, man, when I'm gonna be 30, I'm gonna feel like crap and not want to do it. You got to realize what got you into this in the first place. Things are gonna get harder as you keep going on. If you want to sound good, if you want to be good, things will always get harder. But with the skills that you've made and earned and learned, you be able to handle all of the challenges ahead. It's almost like you're playing a video game, right? You want to defeat the boss or whatever, but you're on a low level and you haven't put in all the hours yet. Think of it as like that, a video game. You won't be able to beat the boss. Say the boss, musical terms, is a very polished, every song on the album sounds amazing, just like on the radio and everything. You're not going to go with a level 1 character and try to beat that boss. You're going to have to go through a lot of dungeons, a lot of little extra things. I'm thinking of Legend of Zelda. You're going to have to really build up your skills, and to the point where now I can make a song sound really awesome, really good. That's just from a lot of hard work, and it's like I push myself to make it sound like that. I put in all the hours, and so I expect it to sound that way with the amount of work I put in. A lot of people just think, oh, I could just push a button, I could do this, bim bam boom, and it sounds really great and all that. But if you're gonna do anything, make sure you put in the hours and work, because in order to be great, you gotta put in the time. That's why you see so many like of the greats, when they do something that's, sounds amazing, and like a lot of other people are like, man, you're just so great, you're a genius and everything, and the guys are just like, well, yeah, I guess. Yeah, I put in the time, so it better sound fucking good, otherwise I'd give up and do something else. And so when it comes to getting things done, you're gonna have to put in the work, which means your buddies call you up and say, hey man, let's go to the bar, let's hang out or whatever. You gotta say, nah man, I'm kind of busy in the middle of recording this or that, or anything like that. You gotta put in the time. You gotta put in so many hours a week. Some days you gotta just take a breather and not think about anything, not even touch a recording instrument at all, or any kind of musical instrument. You just gotta let things go. But at some point you gotta sit down and be like, okay, I'm gonna put 3 hours in today. 3 hours learning something new. It doesn't have to be recording a song. It could be you researching, looking up a video on YouTube, finding out the tutorial on how to mix a song better, or how to put more flavor into a bass line, or anything. The internet's an amazing thing for all kinds of things. You're listening to this right now on the internet. Almost all of my strongest friendships are through being in a band with them or making music with them at some point. that's where all my friendships came from, and the strongest bonds were from, is because you're doing something. You're actually doing something productive. You're not just going out, and it's like me sitting down at a party and just like watching people drink. It just makes me feel like I'm wasting time. When you know what your passion is and you know what you want to do with your life, everything else seems like it's a big waste of time. When I have free time and it's like, okay, I have a choice. I could either go and hang out or stay in and work on a new song, or really, push myself to get something else done and out of the way and move on to the next project I have, scheduled or listed down somewhere. Like that's how my mind works. And if you're that passionate about something, that's how you're gonna feel. So you're gonna miss out on a lot of things that it all depends on your version of how you want your life to be. When you're young, you're going to have to put in a lot of work, and it's not going to sound that great. And that's where a lot of people fall off right away. They expect to put in maybe a week's worth of work and have something that sounds really good. If you're going to do anything on your own and really build skills and everything, it's going to take a lot of time. It's kind of like how a lot of people treat a diet. Like, oh man, I want to lose all this weight and everything. And then they eat and they work out for a week and they don't see any results and they give up. It takes months to see results with a diet. With music and doing anything creative, it takes a lot longer. I could listen to the tapes I made in 2001, me and a beat up tape recorder and a keyboard and just jamming away on the keys.
Hang on, I got a fart. Hang on. Back to recording. 1, 2, 3, 4.
You can't be embarrassed of the things you did when you were younger and it just sounds bad, or it's not up to par with how you were, because without you doing all the embarrassing quote unquote things or whatever, it's what made you how you are today. So don't ever feel embarrassed about what you've done in the past. I mean, yeah, it's fun to look at and be like, oh my God, I remember that. God, that was horrible. Without that, you won't grow. I had a guy I made music with, and we made a music video together, and I knew what my expectations were of the music video. Was we make the music video and we put it out, and it may get 100 views in 5 months. I knew going in that this video probably wouldn't blow up or do anything. We made the music video. It looked good. It took us 2 hours to do the entire music video. It was just kind of like a Sunday morning, hey, what do you want to do? Well, you want to make a music video? Oh, sure, And then it snowballed into that, and by the end of the night, we had a music video done, and we uploaded it. Anyways, he at some point said, yeah, it was kind of embarrassing, put it up and everything. We only got like 200 views and 8 likes on the video, and whatever. And I was like, it was embarrassing? I liked it. I thought it was awesome. I didn't care if it got any views or anything. Some have higher expectations of something because they're on it or whatever. You got to realize, you can't just throw something up and people are going to see it right away, or it's going to blow up or whatever. You could have a lot of great things, a lot of great material, and a lot of great music and a lot of great songs, but if it's not pushed and you're not like out there trying to promote it, it's not going to be seen. Like, I know so many great musicians, like the guy I was in the music video with, one of the best guitarists I've ever seen. The dude can learn anything within a week. Like, I wish I had that kind of skill. I do not. I'm a horrible learner. It takes forever for me to learn anything. Like, I'm still trying to learn so many things. I'm not a master of anything. It's just me. It's just I'm stubborn and I work hard. So that's the reason why I somewhat make some good music. But this guy, he could learn anything, and he should be somewhere right now making all kinds of money and touring or whatever. But he's not. I wish. That's just how it was, you know. There's so many people out there that are amazingly talented, but nobody knows of them. So don't think just because you have no success, no fame or whatever, that the person isn't talented. Because there's a lot of untalented people that have a lot of fame and have a lot of money. You know, I could name off all kinds of people. Disney Channel stars, for instance. It's almost like a pipeline, you know, whenever stars of Disney shows get a little too old, they make that transition into being a pop singer. You can't look at anybody like that as a measuring stick. Have a sense of pride of what you've done so far and keep pushing. No matter where you're at, you could be in the smack dab of the middle of America, but if you push hard enough and work hard enough, I believe at some point some good will happen. Don't ever feel like just because no one's listening to you that you're no good. A lot of great artists' works were respected a lot after their death. So looking at the big picture, you know, if you don't make money and you're not doing the music for the money or the fame, and you're still, no one even recognizes you too much while you're living, just realize that doesn't mean later on someone's going to listen in the future and be like, man, this was so great, you know, why don't more people know this? You never know. There's always those stories where people, like in the, you know, 1800s, a lot, these people that were left unknown for a century did some amazing stuff, and only now, like, people hear the stories about that. So don't ever think that what you're doing, even if you believe in it and no one else does, just keep going with that regardless. And I'm going to nail home this one thing again. Just do not have high expectations for what happens to your music after you release it. Don't ever think, oh man, this is going to be a hit. This is the one, man. This is the one. And you put it out and nothing happens. Don't ever have that expectation, because it's just going to shatter you. You're self-harming. Just put it out there and let the world decide. If the world wants it, the world will take it. And the funny thing is, there's so many artists out there that will make an album, right? Like, let's see, what is the song? Stairway to Heaven. Led Zeppelin put out that album, and they had Stairway to Heaven on it. And I don't think a lot of the guys in the band really liked that song or thought it was going to be a hit. And they released it, and the world took the song that they thought wasn't going to be a hit into what it is now, which is like a legendary song. It's up to the world. It's not up to you. What you need to do as a person who makes music is just to make the music, release it, and move on to your next venture, whatever you're going to do, the next album, the single, the movie, or whatever you're going to do next, okay? I've seen bands do this. They'll record an album, 10 songs, put it out, and they will sit on those 10 songs for 2 years. They'll just go and tour. They want to tour. I want to tell you something. I absolutely loathe playing live when I know there's more music I want to record. Because say you put out an album in 2009 and it's 2011 and you're playing those same songs that you wrote in 2009. Or maybe you recorded those in 2009 and you wrote those songs 2 years prior. It's like you're saying the things that you felt 4 years ago. Where's the new stuff? It feels like you're just doing a repeat, or you're living a rerun. So from playing a live gig to recording in a studio, what I choose over and over again would be a studio. Just recording more and more, making a lot more content instead of just playing live. And so the reason for that is, I feel like whenever you make a huge volume of material, that's how you grow. When you just keep making new stuff, pushing the envelope, trying some new things out. I don't know where I read it, but it's like 10% of Shakespeare's plays were successful. 10% of anybody who was big and legendary, 10% of their work was successful when 90% was overlooked or forgotten or not even cared about. So you got to realize, out of all of your work, you may love it all. You may think every single song, every single album you have done is awesome. No one's going to care. They're going to care about the 10% of what they think is good. So you got to realize that you're making music to make yourself feel good and everything. But when you expect everyone else to like it as much as you do, you're going to be let down. So do not expect everyone to love it as much as you love your own stuff. And so you have to work and you have to work and you have to work. And it will get monotonous. It'll get dragging. It'll make you feel like, oh my God, I never want to do this again. Why am I even doing this? Why? What's the point? Why am I caring this much about something that no one else seems to care about? Why? Well, you got to realize what got you there in the first place. Why are you even doing it? If you had the motivation to pick up a guitar when no one knew who you were, and it was just you in your room and you pushed yourself to do it, you got to keep that same kind of motivation as you did in the first place. So like if attention and money were the reasons why I was making music or why I am making music, I would have quit a long time ago. If you made something that was embarrassing to you because nobody saw it too much, or it didn't get successful, or hear it too much, what if that same thing that you got embarrassed about blew up and everybody loved it and everything? It's like, oh, yeah, that was me. See, there's a very small, teeny tiny line between being proud of something and being embarrassed of something. And all it is your perception of what success is. So that's the difference. What is the takeaway with all this? Our little talk today is, one, don't have any expectations of what your music or anything else you do in your life is once you're done and you've put it out. Just put it out, let it do its thing, and enjoy whatever happens after that, okay? Number two, have a healthy balance of humility and confidence. Don't be too proud of yourself and don't beat yourself up too much. You could always be critical of yourself, and you could always pat yourself on the back every once in a while when you did a great job. Number three, if you really put in the hard work and the time, you could do it. I wanted to make music. You know, everybody has the idea that one day maybe becoming a rock star or whatever, but the thing was, it was just like I wanted to make some cool music that no one's heard before, or I haven't. I started out with nothing, and I learned all the instruments myself, what I needed to learn to put a song together. I was more focused on the song than mastering an instrument. My passion was making a bunch of songs that I thought were cool. That's all I cared about. No one else was there saying, hey man, that's really awesome. You know, oh, that's great. That's blah, blah, blah. For years, it was just, oh, that's kind of embarrassing, or nothing at all. Some people would listen to my very first tapes and eject it out of the tape deck and say, yeah, okay. You can't expect motivation from external things. Your biggest motivation is internal, not external. So keep that in mind. Number four, realize regardless, you're gonna die. Famous or not famous, whatever you do in this life, you should always just go at it. Don't sit there and think about, oh man, I want to make this album, or I want to make this movie, but I need money for that, or I need a crew for that, or I need whatever. You make do with what you have at the moment. Yeah, maybe the production may not be good enough, or some of the lighting's bad, or whatever. But if you put your heart and soul into something, and your blood, sweat, and tears, people will notice that. So, and just do your very best with what you have to work with. That's the thing. Don't ever sit back and expect people to come to you. Always just go at it yourself. Don't expect any help. So, keep that in mind. And number five, we all get busy with life. Some of us don't have time to sit down and record and write all day or whatever, even though it was kind of our passion in the past or whatever. If you still have the passion as you did, but time is more precious to you, always carve out time if you still want to pursue it and it's still something that burns inside your body. You will always find a way. So carve out some time, even though life gets hectic and busy and blah blah blah. So that's that, and that's your takeaway. And so that is a wrap. I am your host, DJ Glowing Ice, and that is about it. Hope you guys have a great week. Peace out.